Adam Lerner, BrooklynPhotoworks.com, and today I want to talk to you about why you might want to use a color card when you're shooting portraits. Now, when I'm using my digital cameras, I set the white balance to auto white balance because I'm shooting raw. I don't need to or want to influence any of those factors when I'm shooting because I don't have to. I'm shooting a raw image file. If I want to adjust the white balance, I can do so in post. Now, the only reason why I'd be wanting to shoot with a color card, which is this thing, this is a little passport, a color checker, X-ray color checker passport. And this thing has a lot of different little color palettes on there where when you bring it into Lightroom, you can take the little eyedropper, click it on there, and then look at your skin tone and decide kind of how you want that to affect your image. You can do all kinds of creative stuff, or you can just kind of go with the neutral tones. And if you really want to just keep it simple, there's also just your plain gray card on this side over here. The thing I love about this thing, and I'm not sponsored by these guys, I just keep them in my camera bags, is that it's so tiny and it's so portable and it always will come with me. So the whole thing is if you're shooting portraits, and let's say there is a variety of different circumstances. You've got the color temperature from your lighting. You've got the color temperature that's either from outdoors or from the ambient light that's in your situation. Or maybe you're going from a dark space to a bright space to a space that has mixed lighting that's going to give different color temperatures. If you can use a color card to be able to set your white balance so that it matches the scene or it approximates the scene that you're looking for, that really saves a lot of time, and it also lets you be consistent. Another thing that happens is that oftentimes when you're shooting with flash, the images might have a certain color temperature that doesn't look appealing. Oftentimes, at least in my case, I know that they might look a little bit cool. And if you're shooting with a model and you're on set, there's nothing wrong with using that color card, grabbing a white balance, and then applying that to not only all the images that you've shot, but all the images that are coming in there, so that when you're working with your team and your art director and your stylist, whomever, they're seeing skin tones that look realistic and they look good. And it makes just for a better impression, and it makes for the workflow to go a little bit stronger. Okay, so let me give you guys an example here. This is a magazine that I shoot a lot for, Event Marketer. This is a cover that we did, and with these two gals from American Express. So I was tasked to shoot a cover and an inside spread, and I'll just get to the inside spread in a second. Actually just got these in the mail. And here's your inside spread, okay? Your cover, your inside spread. So you guys can see there's kind of a couple different scenarios going on here. For this thing, it's very tight. For this thing, it's more of kind of a BTS kind of a shoot. This one's kind of cool, the way we composited all those tennis balls on there to make them look like they were cascading down. Very cool. So let me take you guys into Lightroom here and show you a little bit what I mean with this color card. Okay, so I'm going to open up, here we go. Here's a PDF that was sent to me, or that I pulled off the website, of the cover. And look at the original image here. This original image has not been edited. Okay, I'm just going to move this to another monitor over here. You can see how cool this is, how the skin tones are very cool. Now, I have not edited this image. I've just, for example purposes, I'm using the raw image right here that has not been edited. And then if we bring in the actual final cover, you guys can see, wow, what a difference. The background looks a little bit more, obviously looks warmer, and so do the skin tones. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you guys something. I'll bring up the frame where I had Jonah, my assistant, holding up the color card, okay? So here he is, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to leave the color card here, and I'm going to leave Jonah's face there because I want to, obviously meet her for skin tones. And as you can see, the camera did an auto white balance of 6,000 and a tint of 23. 6,000 is pretty warm already, but let's just, we'll hit the W key, or we can just grab the eyedropper by selecting it. And let's just see what happens when we start with a darker tone. Now you guys can see that as I'm sliding on this, the values are changing because the way that the light was hitting the color card, that is also going to change the values. So if we click over there into that dark region, it's a little bit redder, but it's also a little bit warmer. Let's say if we go into this lighter region, it's a little bit less red and it's almost as warm. We come down here, we got the same kind of thing. If we choose like almost a very dark gray, it's going to be redder. And I'm not crazy about the red. In fact, I'm kind of digging what we were getting on this one. Let me just adjust it like that. That looks pretty good. So we went from 6,000 to 6,200, 20 and 26 as your tint. Now look, this is a baseline. I don't have to stick with this. I could just say to myself, you know what, I want this even warmer, and I think this looks good, you know, in this range over here. You know, maybe this should be 6,500, and that should be, you know, where I'm at. I don't know. So for argument's sake, let's just say like we're going to keep this at, you know, 6250, which was our original value. 6250, boom, like that. Now, what I can do is I can copy and paste that white balance into another image. So like this is the image that was on the cover. Okay, this image, same lighting, same scenario, but the camera decided to bring this image in at 5850. So what I can do is I can either write the values in there, or I can just, you know, select this, hit synchronize, and boom. And there we go. And look at how much warmer it is. The background looks warmer. The faces look warmer. I'll show you guys a quick before and after. Okay, here's the before. Here's the before. You can see how cool it is, and here's the after. Now, granted, you know, these aren't edited. I'm just showing you for the raw purposes only. So again, remember, with the white balance, that's something that you can absolutely set yourself. But if you're shooting a series of portraits, or like when you're shooting in a studio, for example, and you're shooting multiple images with the exact same lighting, the same exact backdrop, and probably the same talent that's on there, there's nothing wrong with using a color card so you can get your white balance settings to get the images to look nice and consistent throughout not only your workday, but your workflow that's going to happen subsequently after that. So that's it for now. If you have any questions or comments, please leave them below, and we'll see you soon.